How many minutes, if I take a cold shower, what are we looking at?
If it's really cold, 1 minute, you're done.
That's it.
If it's not very cold, or you're finding that like, oh, I can do 3 minutes, then 3 minutes. Joe Rogan has been sitting top of the heap for a long time. They've tried to cancel him. He's apologized for his mistakes. He's never taken interviews with traditional media. He's done so many things that it's clear, like he owns the podcast space.
Sure.
And he deserves it, frankly. He's an extremely good person. He cares about people. He deserves it. And yes, he's been very good to me, but also he's just a really good person. If you want to know the order that I do, I get up, I probably use the bathroom, but I get some water, I want to hydrate, and then I'll go outside and get some sunlight. No sunglasses. Admittedly, sometimes I'll post on social media or look at social media. Then I go in, and I never want to get into the cold. I never want to get
You have to force yourself.
That's why I do a minute to 3 minutes cold shower or a minute to 3 minutes in the cold plunge, because I do happen to have a cold plunge. Once you've done that, the rest of your day will just domino into a series of better things, just because of the elevation in mood, motivation, metabolism, and all those kinds of things. So we've got sleep, movement, sunlight, nutrition, social connection.
Social connection.
Just do what you can to make the interactions that you have online and in reality with friends, with family, like as healthy as possible. Microdosing is not beneficial. Macrodosing for 1 or 2 sessions with a guide who's very skilled can be tremendously beneficial. Let's talk about psilocybin first. You said microdosing.
Yep.
There is basically no evidence, nil to no evidence, that microdosing psilocybin can be beneficial.
Is there a danger to an ice plunge, an ice bath, if you're in there too long, it's too cold?
The only danger to cold water, deliberate cold exposure, is not doing it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. If you get very cold, if you fall through the lake in winter, you can have a heart attack, right? So totally. I don't want anyone to harm themselves.
No.
Sorry, you set me up for that one. But I could tell you more about the curbs in the parking lot of high school than I could about the classes. Like the kids go to class, but I didn't attend much. But when I did go, every once in a while, it's funny because I run into people from my high school now and they're like, you weren't even there. And it's true, I really wasn't there. Not much anyway. The issue is that people who are smoking very high THC concentration cannabis young, especially young males, are going to predispose themselves to psychosis later. Why do it? Well, first of all, you need to do it for about 1 to 3 minutes per session and maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 times per week, but you're going to benefit even once. What happens is you get a surge of adrenaline, and then there's a study that was published in Humans, European Journal of Physiology, showing that you get an enormous increase in dopamine, which makes you feel great. But unlike a drug like cocaine or amphetamine or something, or like an energy drink where it's like a little bit of dopamine, but the effect on dopamine from the cold is very long lasting, 2 to 4, maybe even more hours. Okay. The data are now very, very clear that people who do the appropriate clinical sessions with psilocybin or MDMA show tremendously positive outcomes for dealing with trauma and depression. Everyone knew he was lying, but he sort of separated the mission from the avatar, from the person, in a way that was convenient for him financially, and probably had to do with some earlier stuff. No one really does that unless they're kind of miswired inside. And I say this with genuine sympathy. I hope he gets serious therapy, right? That, and I hope he gives back some of the money that he, stripped people of. So remember, meditation is for improving focus. Hypnosis, self-hypnosis, is for solving a particular problem, and NSDR, aka Yoga Nidra, is for replenishing energy. It's been shown that after about 10 to 30 minutes of NSDR, your dopamine levels rise in the brain to a point where you're ready for action again. It can actually help you replace sleep that you're not getting.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, just as an aside, because I think people go, meditation is just one thing. It's like, no, those are very, very different. Fundamentally, the most important thing for mental health and physical health, wound healing, recovery from injuries, testosterone, libido, metabolism. I mean, it's just, I would place it right up there in the top 5 of, get regular sleep of sufficient duration, get sunlight in the morning, and try and avoid bright light from artificial lights. Get regular movement, exercise. For some people, that's skateboarding. Other people, it's like running, weightlifting, whatever. Get it. Proper nutrition. You can just, like order online or go and get the red party bulbs, and you put those next to your bed. And so if you have red light on in the evening, you can still read, you can move about, and it is so relaxing. Your transition into sleep will be so much easier. Your sleep is so much deeper. If you wake up in the middle of the night, you switch it on. You don't get this increase in these stress hormones from the red light that you do from other things. Proper nutrition, which is really simple, whether or not you're vegan, vegetarian, omnivore, carnivore, whatever. The key is try and make about 3/4 or more of your food intake from non-processed foods. Those would be foods like that would essentially spoil if you left them out. That could be meat and fish if that's in your diet, but if not, it could be fruits, vegetables, or for me, like all those things. And then minimally processed foods like rice, oatmeal, pasta, those kinds of things. And try and limit the highly processed foods, which are the things that basically could like survive on the shelf forever. Try and make those 25% or less of your food intake. Safety margins on psilocybin seem to be very high. Obviously, kids and people with psychosis shouldn't touch it. People younger than 25, you got to be careful, brain's still developing. Meditation, where you sit and you focus on something for 5 or 10 minutes, is very good at improving your focus. If you're somebody with ADHD, that's a great tool. And it's hard, but that refocusing is really great to do. 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day even.